Okay. I'll admit when I was wrong. We was wrong. I was wrong. Cause you know, last week your boy released a video that was like, this universe needs spores as like extra challenge. Let me tell you right now, the people like this show is operating on insane difficulty because there ain't no way that the show's universe and its infection is like 50 times more dangerous than the one from the video game. Because from the video game, you know, you stroll into an area, you'd look around, you'd be looting, you'd be touching everything, stepping on everything. You run into an infected, you'd kill them, or you'd kill a group of them, and you'd keep it moving. That ain't the way that's gonna work in this TV show universe, Hoss. Like, you step on one thing wrong, 300 infected is on your ass. You kill the wrong infected, 500 infected is on your ass. You go into the wrong area and accidentally creak the wrong door that just happens to have one of those tendrils dangling on top of it, and you alert 400 infected 5 miles down the road. Now you looking around like, yeah, this is gonna be the best spot for me to camp and go to sleep tonight. Meanwhile, these 400 infected are just inbound to your location, like they have Waze, like they're using Google GPS. They are on the way to beat your ass and infect you. That is some scary shit. Like, I'm not gonna fake, we just got The Last of Us remaster recently. I'm gonna need them to release the remaster with these infected and how they operate, because this is some Days Gone level shit right here. Because the moment that Joel killed that one in that last area and its hand landed in the grass and you see the tendrils wrap around its hand and then crawl inside of its hand, then meanwhile 15 blocks away the bat signal shoots up into the sky to alert the infected to the location. I was like, oh no, there's a whole new ball game. There's a whole new ball game out here. Like, we're not surviving in this universe. I'm clumsy. Okay, I step on things. I accidentally knock things over. I would have alerted these things to my presence immediately. Like the second I open up a door and step inside of a room and my Bigfoot ass accidentally steps on like a random tendril and alerts the 300 infected that are in the sewer system or 3 miles down the road, that's it for me. Like I'm just gone. I'm a big guy. I can run for a distance, but I can't run forever. And these things can run forever because they ran to that location in a minute. My man Joel was like, yeah, we got less than a minute. We gotta get the hell up out of here. Let's jump to the front of this. I'm really digging the flashbacks that we're getting with basically people before the infection spread, which is, I really feel as though that scene in the beginning, to me, was more tense than the clicker scene. And the clicker scene was tense as hell because it's a woman who is at the top of her field. She has been in this field studying for 15 to 20 years. The government itself hunted you down, found you, and brought you to this lab. She gets into the lab. She goes, why are you testing for cordyceps as though, you know, it's inside of a human? And the people in the lab are like, because it is inside of a human. And she goes in there and she's looking at the infection and she's like, well, this is a bite from like a human. And then she opens up the mouth and pulls out the tendrils and she freaks. That was genuine fear, because even though I knew what was going on, that actress deserves a fucking award because she got across just how serious the situation was. Because that military dude was there, he was like, yeah, so like, what do we need? What we need to get you? Like, we need to get you some more bodies. Like, we're gonna need a vaccine. We're gonna need some pills. Like how are we gonna solve this situation? That like, he was expecting a scientist answer. Instead, he got a MW2 answer. Like, he got a Modern Warfare 2 answer. Like, she just got her 11th kill streak, and she was like, yeah, nah, you need to get AC-130 in the sky and bomb this whole city. Like, from the sky. Calling the chopper gunners, calling the AC-130. When you get to 25 kills, calling the tactical nuke. You need to get this city up off the ground. Like, There's not a vaccine. There's no magic pills. There's nothing that's going to help you in this situation. I suggest bombs. When a scientist is no longer scientisting, where when a scientist is like, I'm putting science to the side, calling the military, because we need to bomb this entire region. You know that you are outside of your depth, because that soldier guy did not see anything else. He just looked at her like, wait a minute, you serious, Bob? She was like, yes. And I'd like to be driven home to my family so that I can be with them. Like, this is driving home something that I feel it answers a lot of questions, but it's also spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about it here. We'll talk about it later when we cross that bridge. Like, we're going to compile all of these previous scenes to a decision that's probably going to be made at the end of this series. But it draws to that there truly is no hope. Until Ellie. Like, Ellie's like the first, because like the scientist chick was like, yeah, there ain't no hope here. Everybody's dead. And then you have Ellie and this situation where she is immune. And it's like, well, is there hope? Like, is there hope for humans being able to maybe adapt to this? Because the way in which most things work is, let's say that there's something that kills off 99.9% of the population. Like, that 0.1% of the population is still a couple million people. Is this like a one-off and done? Or is this a situation that could replicate itself in the wild? We don't know. But then we jump right into the clicker scene, which is fantastic. They look so fucking good. As though like they came right out of the game to just terrify you and live in your dreams tonight. They're definitely gonna live in my dreams tonight, because I saw them damn things and I was like, nah, son. Like, I like the fact that there's genuine build up to it, because for somebody who played the games, like, we know what's about to happen. Like, we know how scary these things are. But it's them walking through the city and they hear a sound, and Ellie's like, what the hell made that sound? Then them getting into the museum and she sees the body just absolutely mauled and ripped to shreds, and she's like, what the fuck did that? And it's like, I've been attacked by an infected before. They ain't ever whooped my ass like that. And then it's the partition collapsing and hearing the sound for the first time. Oh, such a beautiful sound inside of the room. And it's the fear on both Tess and Joel, where they're terrified of these things. For the most part, running into any of the regular infected, they're absolute badasses. Running into a random soldier, we can kill him. They hear clickers and they're like, no. And I like the fact that Joel breaks it down to her, where he's like, usually 1 or 2 months, dead. Some infected, shambling around for 10, 20 years. Those are the infected that have been shambling around for 10 or 20 years. They're absolutely fucking horrifying. And I love the fact that they brought them to life with prosthetics. Like, I'm a sucker for that. Like, the Thing, I feel as though we need to go back in that direction where it's more prosthetics with touch-ups of CGI to make things a lot more fluid than to go full CGI. Love this direction that we decided to go in. The clickers look absolutely fucking fantastic. This episode was dope as shit. I prefer Tess's last stand here than her last stand in the game. In the game, the military just basically busts in and shoot her and she dies, and then you and Ellie have to basically escape, killing all the military on your way to the subway. Here, we see Tess basically fight against the infection because it's taking hold. Like, Ellie and her got bit at the same time, but like her hand's shaking and she's showing Joel at the fact that, like, you know, look at where my infection has progressed in comparison to her, where for her it's just like an injury, it's just a wound. And I like the fact that when the infected ran in the room, they knew that she was also infected, which calls back to something that happened with the grandmother early on, where she bit the husband first, and then once she was sure he was infected, she started feeding on and infecting the wife. Like, that one zombie guy just walks over. Well, one infected guy, because we ain't really dealing with zombies here. He just kind of walks over and just proceeds to give her that kiss of death. And it's like, in her last, she's able to drop that thing and blow up the entire building. Fucking love it. Oh, The Last of Us it's been so good to me. It's absolutely freaking fantastic. But let me know how you feel about it. Comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.